Hello, I welcome to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of SHANTHA LAKSHMI IAS Academy, where we will discuss the daily Prelims MCQs from the Hindu, Indian Express and PIB. Let's begin. The first question. Consider the following statements with respect to minimum alternate tax. MAT is applicable to all companies, including foreign companies. MAT was introduced to reduce tax avoidance. It is a provision in the Income Tax Act of India. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. This was in news recently. The Mumbai bench of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal observed that the assessee was entitled to claim credit for minimum alternate tax under the Vivek Vishwas scheme for the year under consideration. About this tax is a provision in the Income Tax Act of India. It primarily applies to companies and is designed to ensure that companies that report substantial book profits but pay little to no income tax due to various exemptions and deductions are subject to a minimum level of taxation. The primary objective behind the MAT tax in India is to curb tax avoidance by companies that manipulate their financial statements to reduce their taxable income artificially. With the introduction of MAT, companies have to pay a fixed percent of their profit as a MAT. MAT is applicable to all companies, including foreign companies. However, it does not apply to companies that have been granted exemption under Section 10A of the Income Tax Act, which pertains to special economic zones. MAT is calculated under the Section 115 JB of the Income Tax Act. All companies are required to pay corporate tax based on which is higher of the following. Normal tax liability, tax computed as per the normal provisions of the income tax law, that is by applying the relevant tax rate to the taxable income of the company, and minimum alternate tax computed at 15%, that is nothing but previously 18.5% on book profit plus cess and surcharge, and MAT is calculated on the book profits of a company, which is different from the taxable profits computed under the regular provisions of the Income Tax Act. What is MAT credit? When the amount of a MAT for a company is greater than its normal tax liability, the difference between MAT and normal tax liability is called MAT credit. So the answer is all three. Moving to the next question. Choose correct one with respect to the INS Tushil. It is first Kravak 3 frigate to acquired under the project 11356M. These ships feature stealth technology in terms of low radar and underwater noise signatures. Which of the statement given above is not correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. INS Tushil, India's latest naval asset, initiated its sea trials from Russia's Baltic naval base recently. About INS Tushil, it is the first Kravak 3 frigate to be acquired under Project 11356M. Project 11356M. India in October 2016 signed an intergovernmental agreement with Russia to purchase 4 additional Admiral Grigorovich class frigates through a partnership between Russia and Indian shipyards. Russia will supply 2 of the frigates, while the other 2 will be constructed in India. The Talwar class frigates or Project 11356 are a class of stealth-guided missile frigates. Under the IGA, Russia would provide technical assistance in setting up production of 11356 project frigates in India. The construction of these ships is based on the Indian Navy's specific requirements to meet the entire spectrum of naval warfare in all 3 dimensions of air, surface, and subsurface. Features. These ships feature stealth technology in terms of low radar and underwater noise signatures. These ships are being equipped with major Indian supplied equipment such as surface-to-surface missiles, sonar systems, surface surveillance radar, communication suite, anti-submarine warfare system, along with Russian surface-to-air missiles and gun mounts. The frigates are designed to fight submarines and warships in brown and blue waters and repel air attacks both independently and within formations. The displacement is 3,620 tons. The length is 124.8 meters. The full speed is 30 knots and the cruising range is 4,850 miles. So the answer is neither one nor two because both the statement given above are correct. Moving to the next question. Recently, which state or UT conducted all-women maritime surveillance mission? Option A, Lakshmi, option B, Andaman Nicobar, option C, Tamil Nadu, option D, Kerala. Recently, the Andaman Nicobar Command marked the 48th anniversary of INAS 318 and International Women's Day with historical all-women maritime surveillance mission. The crew consisting of Lieutenant Commander Shubhangi Swaroop and Lieutenant Commander Divya Sharma and Lieutenant Vaishali Mishra and showcased women's pivotal role in the naval air arm. And the event emphasized gender equality as women officers handled pre-fighting briefing and meteorological briefing and medical checkup and air traffic control. The mission success reforms women capability in executing independent operational tasks, reinforcing their crucial contributions to national defense. So the answer is B, Andaman Nicobar. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about Bureau of Indian Standards. BIS is the national standard body of the India established under the BIS Act 2016. BIS is functioning under the administrative control of the Ministry of Commerce. The agency is headquartered in New Delhi. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. Recently, the Government of India initiated a scheme through the Bureau of Indian Standards for the upgradation and strengthening of the laboratory network in the country. About Bureau of Indian Standards, BAS is the national standard body of India established under the BAS Act 2016 for harmonious development of the activities of standardization, marking and quality certification of goods and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. The BIS is the successor of the Indian Standard Institution, which was created in 1947 to ensure quality control and competitive efficiency in the rapid industrialization expected in the early decades of India's independence. The BIS functioning under the administrative control of the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. BIS has been providing traceability and tangibility benefits to the national economy in number of ways, providing safe, reliable quality goods, minimizing health hazards to consumers, promoting exports and import substitute, control over fluorification of varieties, etc. through standardization, certification and testing. It operates product certification scheme through which it grants licenses to manufacturers covering practically every industry discipline from agricultural and textiles to electronics. The certification by the BIS is mandatory for certain classes of products such as milk powder, X-ray equipment and gas cylinders that directly affect public health and safety. In other cases, voluntary or optional certification or self-certification by the manufacturer may be permitted. The BIS employs a large staff of engineers, scientists, and statisticians. Testing is carried out in its own laboratories as well as in independent facilities that demonstrated compliance with laboratory guidance established by the International Organization for Standardization. The agency is headquartered in New Delhi and maintains regional and branch offices throughout the country. So the answer is only two, because the BIS is functioning under the administrative control of the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, not Ministry of Commerce. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding Article 131 of the Indian Constitution. The SC has exclusive and original jurisdiction over legal issues originating between the states or between the states and the Union. Original jurisdiction is the power of the court to hear and determine a dispute in the first instance. Which of the statement given above is are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. Recently, under Article 31 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court disapproved of the centre, insisting on withdrawal of suit filed by the Kerala government as a precondition for giving consent to the state for additional borrowing. About this article, according to Article 31, the SC has exclusive and original jurisdiction over legal issues originating between the states or between the states and the Union. Original jurisdiction is the power of the court to hear and determine a dispute in the first instance. The bare regarding of Article 131 states that the original jurisdiction of the SC, subject to the provision of this Constitution, the SC shall, to the exclusion of any other court, have original jurisdiction in any dispute between the government of India or one or more states, or between the government of India and any state or states on one side and one or more other states on the other, between two or more states, if and insofar as the dispute involves any question on which the existence or extent of legal right depends. The nature of the Article 131 is subject to provision of the Constitution and is limited to disputes involving legal rights as mentioned in the article itself. Thus, disputes of political nature are not covered under these unless legal rights are at stake. The SC held that the meaning of the word state under Article 131 does not include any private citizen, company, or a government department, even if it had filed a complaint along with any state government's restrictions. The original jurisdiction of the SC does not extend to dispute arising out of any treaty, agreement, covenant, engagement, sanat, or any other similar instrument which came into being before commencement of the Constitution. The Parliament may exclude the jurisdiction of the SC in dispute relating to the use, distribution, or control of the water of any interstate river, suits brought by private individuals against the government of India. So the answer is C. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Thank you. This is the today's session.